Hello, how you guys doing? Welcome back to Kyle is Famous by John Simansky. Yeah, today I'm gonna go through much as possible, and I will edit out time that wrong parts and everything else. There is 117 endings, so yeah, this is crazy. Um, we'll try to go through much as possible. So let's get into it.
Kyle woke up.
Okay. We become a ghost. I feel like we have more things to discover when we are a ghost, but just go normal route first. Choose an outfit, back to bedroom.
Kyle decided to take some. Kyle miraculously crammed his dump.
Desk. CDs. Kyle began shuffling through the dusty CD pile that held all his favorite music. Many of the CDs were unlabeled or broken. Take a carnival music. Okay, carnival time. Right note.
Kyle wrote down his third question. Kyle wrote down his last question. Kyle ripped. Kyle scooped. Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for. Kyle was glad to see him again. Kyle decided.
Let's leave him for now. Exit the hallway. Move to kitchen. Open fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something.
Prepare breakfast.
Kyle hurried to the set.
Okay. We are too late.
As Kyle approached. Good evening. Kyle responded.
Answer politely.
And I as well.
Shake hand.
After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast. A moment after seating. Good evening, everyone, said. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May. As Rachel started to reply, Kyle clamped his hand over her mouth.
Okay.
Hush, he said. I need to do something before we can continue.
Okay.
Kyle removed the CD he had brought to the interview and placed it in a nearby player deck.
Oh, so this is the era CD players common thing, I guess.
The sound system kicked into action, piping Kyle's music throughout the Rachel briefly listened, a blank expression on her face. Smiling, Kyle closed his eyes and enjoyed the music for a moment. Then, he spoke. All right, now everything's ready. Let's begin.
Okay.
Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier.
Are you a mother?
Rachel, I and many others would love to know, are you a mother? Kyle looked up from his notes. I'm sorry, Kyle, said Rachel. What on earth is this music? It's very... well, it's something.
Okay, she's gonna comment on that. Okay, cool. Let's proceed.
It's an old favorite, Rachel, said Kyle. This is what I grew up on. It's part of my most special collection. Kyle and Rachel sat silently, the music playing in the background. Rachel began to frown. Suddenly, the wall next to Kyle exploded.
Wow.
Through the hole stepped several men in dazzling, flamboyant costumes of bright color. They held guitars, pianos, and other instruments.
Kyle,
Said the man in front.
we are the band of your childhood.
Wow.
Kyle's jaw dropped, smiling. He put his hands to his cheeks. His eyes sparkled.
Wow.
We have come to issue a grievance about playing our music on TV without a license.
Okay, I thought they come to insane Kyle, but of course it is a copyright claim. Why?
The man took his guitar in both hands and began slamming Kyle's face repeatedly.
What? I thought they are breaking the CD, not Kyle's face. Poor guy. Okay.
After several hours, the grievance had been sufficiently repaid. The band left through the hole they had created in the wall. Kyle lay on the floor, thinking about what had happened. Rachel slowly slid to his side. Are you feeling okay, Kyle? She asked. She had a concerned expression on her face. Have you ever met your childhood idol, Rachel? Asked Kyle. The person you looked up to for as long as you can remember.
Okay.
I can't say I have, said Rachel. Kyle raised both fists into the air.
It feels amazing!
Okay. Why I expected something else? Of course.
Kyle spent the rest of Rachel's interview chatting happily about meeting his lifelong favorite band. Rachel listened and asked questions politely, seeming unfazed that her moment on TV had been uprooted.
Okay.
Eventually, the studio was out of time and the broadcast shut off. Kyle and Rachel walked out of the studio together. Kyle was grinning widely. The two said their goodbyes and walked off in separate directions. As Kyle walked home, he felt like the interview had been everything he had hoped it to be.
Okay.
Kyle had gotten everything he had ever wanted as a child.
Oh. I think this is... Okay, this is the wholesome ending. Okay. I didn't expect that. Of course, I have to expect unexpected in this game. I'm happy for him. Kyle played music. What should I do?
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor. Kyle started to pick between... Soon, he had a small handful of various insects, dead and alive. Kyle... Knowing he had the eyes of millions upon him, Kyle came up with a solution quickly.
What is a buckboard?
Well, Rachel, said Kyle, I wanted to show this to you. Kyle produced the ball of bugs he had accumulated from his bedroom floor. Rachel took several beats to figure out what Kyle was holding in his hands. A look of horror crossed her face. Kyle, what on earth is that? She asked. Is it alive? Maybe, said Kyle. Here, watch this.
Okay.
Kyle, staring at Rachel, opened his mouth wide and slowly inserted the gooey ball of bugs. As Rachel watched, obviously unsettled, Kyle began to chew very slowly and intent. Attempting to swallow, Kyle coughed several times, covering Rachel in partially chewed bugs. Rachel sat, still shocked, processing what had happened. Kyle finished swallowing and opened his mouth to show that there were no bugs. Well, that was satisfying, he said, smiling widely at the camera. Rachel got out of her seat and left the studio.
Oh. Okay. Exit the bed. Open closet. Choose an outfit.
Kyle-
Select suit.
Kyle Moran.
Back to room. Sit at desk. Checks the desk drawer. Sort of change.
Kyle scooped up the change, scattered.
Back to desk. Left over. Flashlight.
Kyle grabbed the flashlight, but after
Okay. Okay, suit check, suit. Back to room. Alright, leave apartment. Use the next door. Buy batteries, switch changes.
Kyle counted out one
flashlight.
Kyle crammed.
Turn to apartment. Turn to bedroom. Open closet. Inspect with flashlight.
Kyle shined his
More.
after there was a pile of strange items, including a small metal box with a large red button stamped with travel time.
So I found this path on the internet. So apparently he found some item to travel time. So let's take the box.
Kyle stashed the
Okay.
device for later use.
Back to bedroom. Exit the hallway. Move to kitchen. Okay, we don't have
Kyle,
time.
sitting across, as Kyle approached. Good evening, Kyle. Kyle responded.
Answer politely.
And I as well, Rachel.
Shake hands.
After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
Okay, time travel literature.
Good evening, everyone, said Kyle. Tonight, Rachel and I will time travel together.
Oh,
In one motion, Kyle grabbed Rachel's arm and pressed the red button on the time machine with his elbow.
cool.
Kyle and Rachel were sent back to a time before human existence on Earth.
Okay.
They were standing next to a large lake. There was a forest behind them, full of singing birds. Lizards were everywhere. Kyle, dear, said Rachel, stern but not angry, you can't just do things like that.
Wow.
Rachel began digging in the dirt, looking for small, smooth stone. I'm sorry, Rachel, said Kyle. I got a bit ahead of myself. Kyle began helping to look for stones. Well, it's okay, Kyle. I forgive you. Rachel took Kyle's stones and started to build a small stack on the ground. Kyle silently began sifting through the sand near the lake to find pure mud. Well, since we're here together, said Rachel, using nearby sticks to build a pyramid around the rocks. How are you? Oh, I'm fine, said Kyle, sticking pieces of shale together with the mud. I've been preparing for your interview all. Rachel began to bundle nearby foliage into small power cells. Do you love being famous? She asked. Kyle used the bones from the dead fish ashore to start crafting some energy capacitors.
What?
That's an interesting question, Rachel, he answered. There's ups and downs. How about yourself? I think I'd love to be unknown, with a loving family, said Rachel. Being so recognizable gets very lonely. Rachel started grabbing live birds as they flew by to make a nuclear reactor. I understand that incredibly well, said Kyle, extracting pure hydrogen from the lake using a reed siphon.
What in the world? How they know to do that? They are not scientists. Okay. Expect the unexpected. That things okay. They just chat normal things and doing crazy stuffs. Okay.
There was a warm, understanding silence between them. After a few minutes, Kyle broke the... Can you pass me the arc welder when you're done? I need to weld these bioreactive plates together. Soon the pair had constructed a janky but workable return time machine.
How? How in the world? Come on, man.
As they climbed in, Rachel and Kyle looked at each other. Both knew they had bonded.
Wow.
With the flick of a switch, the whir of an engine made out of beaver pelts, and some pops, the duo returned home. Later that evening, back at his apartment, Kyle thought about the time he had spent with Rachel. He was glad they had gotten the chance to take a trip together.
Wow. I surely thought they would, you know, I mean, Rachel kind of like Kyle, I think, I don't know. Hell, I hope to see a ending with, Rachel get together with Kyle. But I don't know. So that it for now, I guess. So there is a crazy amount of endings, so I'm not sure. Okay, I'm only got a 15 ending out of 117. Maybe I will play more, maybe I will not. You guys should check this game out from the link in the description. I'm gonna play this game myself, so yeah, it's time to you guys to figure it out. All endings, mysterious endings. Okay, guys. I'm happy you guys came along with this playthrough. See you guys soon with another game. Bye. See ya.